what he believed in was the ancient Nordic religions of the past. He, as far as I know, was not a Christian. Maybe he had been at some time in his life, but when he practiced power, he wasn't. People within religion who disagreed with him, no matter what religion, were thrown in camps. What was his name from the Liberal Socialist Party? Kurt something or other. He was in camps for like 6 years. And many others who spoke out, particularly in the clergy, they just threw him in a camp someplace. And although I do know that the ties to the churches, both Protestant and Catholic, were allowed, and the Catholic Church was allowed to send part of their tithing to the Vatican and Rome. So I think even though he was not religious, he saw the political practicalities of playing ball with religious people who would play ball with him. And so it kind of slid by. I wish I could remember that guy Kurt's last name. I keep on thinking of Schumacher. But anyway, it's been 50 years since I read that part of history, so you're going to cut me a little slack on that one. Anyway, I don't know the right word for Hitler and his religious beliefs. Not much have come out about that, and so I just know he wasn't a Christian, or at least certainly didn't practice.
Was he's got 5 questions here. Was the Great Depression solved by World War II?
Absolutely. Let's phrase it another way. Hitler was born at Versailles, and I'm quoting Leon Degrelle, who wrote a book to that title. And of course, we had the reason for him being born at Versailles was the reparations impressed upon the German people after the First World War, and it destroyed their economy. They had the giant Weimar Republic inflation, and then they went into depression, and by 1930-31, people were pretty sick of it, and anybody that came along that sounded like they might have an answer, they voted for him, and the Nazi Party won 82% of the vote, and Adolf Hitler happened to be the head of that party, so he became chancellor. And so the answer in the Second World War was that Hitler, and of course in Japan, the imperial government, both agreed that they were going to have a war. They needed it, and they wanted it. And Japan wanted to loot Asia, which they did, with great professional acumen. And of course, Hitler looted Europe. But the world needed that war to end worldwide depression. And this is what we're entering into again. And that's why it was so easy for me to make a call that there would be a planned event such as 9/11. And I was within 33 days of it happening. And I did that the November before. It was almost a year before. And as a method of getting into an invasion of Iraq and then Afghanistan and then Iraq. And so what is it this time? Oh, it's Israel, Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, Iran, Pakistan, and India. And that'll keep us going for another 5 or 10 years where everybody kills each other.
Third question is, if Germany had gotten the atomic bomb first and bombed England and the U.S. or Russia, would the Allies have given up?
Yes, I think they would have. And I think what Hitler would have done is, and I base this on the fact that he allowed the British to escape at Dunkirk. That was deliberate. And although he did cause them damage, he really allowed them to exit. And he had great respect for the British system, and he had many followers in England as well. Edward VIII, I think it's the VIII, was one of them, who was to become king. And then there was the abdication and his marriage to Mrs. Wallace. I forget her first name. And and so I don't think he would have bombed England. I think he would have said, look, we got this bomb here, and we can use it, and it'll do terrible damage to your country.